Guys, it's finally happening! After months of insane rumors, wild internet theories, and pure speculation, the exclusive leaked Comic-Con trailer for Avengers Doomsday has officially hit the internet. And I am telling you right now, my jaw is literally on the floor. If you were expecting typical Marvel jokes, lighthearted banter, or quick comedic relief, forget about all of it. Marvel completely threw out the old playbook for this one. What we are looking at is pure, unfiltered multiversal dread, catastrophic incursions, and our absolute first horrifying look at Robert Downey Jr. stepping into the cocoon not as Iron Man, but as the ruthless Dr. Doom. In today's massive deep dive breakdown, we aren't just skimming the surface. We are freezing, zooming in, and breaking down every single frame of this masterpiece, from Professor X's mansion getting utterly obliterated in an incursion, to a jaw-dropping Shang-Chi vs. Gambit showdown, Thor facing Doom, and the shocking, emotional return of Steve Rogers. The trailer opens up on a deeply haunting note. We see the classic brass nameplate of the Xavier Institute, the exact same iconic sign we've loved since the early X-Men films. But the home we once knew is completely gone, reduced to smoking rubble and ash. We cut inside to Professor Charles Xavier sitting quietly in his iconic yellow hoverchair, staring out the window at a blinding, pulsing light. But if you freeze the frame and look closely at the periphery, that is not just light, that is literally another Earth hanging in the sky, rapidly encroaching on theirs. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially witnessing a live-action incursion. For anyone who hasn't read Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars comic run, let me explain why this is so terrifying. An incursion happens when the boundaries between universes collapse. Two parallel Earths collide at a central point. The only way to save your own universe? You have to travel to the colliding Earth and completely destroy it before it hits yours. It is pure, brutal survival. Look at the center of the screen again. That blinding flare isn't the collision starting, it's an antimatter bomb detonating at the core of that other Earth. The X-Men didn't just defend themselves. They just blew up an entire living planet to save their own skin. And Charles Xavier is forced to sit there, completely helpless, watching billions of innocent lives vanish in a split second just so his world can live to see another day. And then, the moment we have all been waiting for. The trailer gives us our very first official, chilling look at the big bad himself, Dr. Doom. Now, Marvel is being smart here. They keep him mostly in the shadows, surrounded by smoke and dark lighting. But if you break down the micro details of his suit, what we are looking at is easily the most comics-accurate design Marvel Studios has ever created. Let's start with detail number 1, the star-shaped sigil on his chest. If you look right at his chest plate, there's an intricate star symbol etched into the metal. In the comics, Doom is a master of both science and the dark arts. This sigil is actually an ancient mystical rune. His armor isn't just powered by tech, it's infused with dark sorcery. And this symbol acts as a conduit to instantly channel his destructive spells in battle. Detail number 2, the brutal medieval aesthetic. He's rocking the classic green cowl, dark Mandalorian-style metal plating on his shoulders, combined with heavy-duty medieval chainmail underneath. It gives him the aesthetic of an ancient, terrifying warlord who has conquered countless dimensions before even stepping foot into ours. And detail number 3, Robert Downey Jr.'s voice. When Doom finally speaks in this trailer, I promise you, if no one told you RGG was under that mask, you would never in a million years guess it was him. There is zero Tony Stark snark or charm here. His voice is deep, heavily modulated through the metallic mask, and delivered with a cold Eastern European accent. RGG has completely erased Tony Stark to become pure, unadulterated evil. We then shift locations from the ruined X Mansion to Earth 616, the newly rebranded Avengers Tower. The classic A logo has been subtly redesigned, looking much sharper, colder, and more metallic. As heavy rain pours down, we see the Fantastic Four's advanced ship making a tense landing on the platform. With Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, Johnny Storm, Sue Storm, and a battle-worn Thor stepping out, Sue is wearing a strange, pulsing digital band on her wrist, incredibly similar to the sophisticated tracking devices the Illuminati used in the comics to monitor incursion countdowns down to the very microsecond. We follow them inside to the main control room, where the massive monitor lights up with a terrifying graphic showing 3 whole planets, all converging at a single catastrophic point in space. There is a timer rapidly counting down, 28 minutes, 6 seconds. A triple threat incursion like this is unprecedented multiversal insanity. This means 3 entire realities: Earth 616, the X-Men universe, and the Fantastic Four's universe are occupying the same space, all doomed to annihilate each other at the exact same moment. They aren't planning a heroic counterattack. They are in a room swapping technology and intelligence, trying to come to a brutal conclusion about which one of their realities gets to survive. First, we get a matchup no Marvel fan ever expected to see on the big screen: Shang-Chi vs. Gambit. We see Channing Tatum's Gambit charging his signature wooden bow staff with fiery magenta kinetic energy, swinging it straight at Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi dodges with insane martial arts fluidity, using his rings to block the strikes. Gambit then flips backward, hurling glowing playing cards that explode on contact. The visual contrast between Shang-Chi's golden ring energy and Gambit's purple kinetic power looks breathtaking on screen. Right next to them, we cut to a psychological nightmare: Mystique vs. Yelena Belova. Mystique appears in her iconic suit, but mid-fight, her skin ripples, and she shapeshifts directly into an exact replica of Yelena. We are looking at a wild Yelena vs. Yelena mirror match where neither team knows who to trust. And if Mystique successfully replaces Yelena without anyone noticing, she could infiltrate the new Avengers from the inside, giving us a terrifying callback to what Nebula did in Avengers Endgame. But as wild as those action scenes are, the single biggest shock of the entire trailer arrives right after. The camera cuts to a mysterious metallic keycard etched with the glowing golden roots of the Yggdrasil world tree. A hand picks it up, and the camera pans up to reveal Loki. And he isn't wearing his Grand God of Stories robes. He is wearing his iconic Season 1 TVA jacket. This proves that Loki isn't just sitting passively on his throne at the end of time while the multiverse collapses. He is actively sending variants or using the TVA to recruit the ultimate multiversal strike force. And where does Loki take this Yggdrasil keycard? He walks straight up to a quiet, sunlit suburban house. Standing on the porch of Steve Rogers, Loki knows that to face a threat as overwhelming as Dr. Doom, muscle isn't enough. They need the ultimate moral compass and leader to bring the multiverse back together. And now, we reach the absolute, jaw-dropping climax of the entire trailer: Thor vs. Dr. Doom. We see Thor, pushed to his absolute limit, spinning Stormbreaker high into the sky to summon a terrifying Infinity War-level lightning storm. He channels all of that cosmic energy directly into a single devastating beam, firing it straight at Doom. And how does Dr. Doom respond? He doesn't dodge. He doesn't even move his feet. Doom simply raises two fingers. That's it. Just two fingers. Think about how insane this power dynamic is. Back in Avengers Infinity War, Thanos needed the power of all 6 Infinity Stones to try and stop Stormbreaker. But Doom, he blocks Thor's ultimate attack effortlessly using an impenetrable mystical force field generated by the ancient runes on his suit. Thor's lightning literally shatters against his space, unable to even touch his cloak. Completely shaken, bloodied, and defeated, Thor retreats aboard the Fantastic Four's ship to meet up with Steve Rogers. But Thor is visibly traumatized. He knows Doom is a master of illusions and dark magic, and he can't even trust his own eyes. So Thor pulls out the fully reassembled Mjolnir, sets it down, and slides it across the table towards Steve. He looks Steve dead in the eye and says, "If you are really him, prove it." Steve Rogers looks down at the hammer, doesn't hesitate for a second, and effortlessly lifts Mjolnir off the table as lightning sparks around his hand. In that one brief moment, all the doubt disappears. The real Captain America is back to lead the multiverse into war. So, when you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, Avengers Doomsday isn't just setting up another typical Marvel clash. This is shaping up to be an absolute multiversal bloodbath. Dr. Doom isn't just another power-hungry villain of the week. He is playing 4D multiversal chess, while our heroes are hopelessly stuck playing checkers just trying to survive the next incursion. Now I want to hear from all of you in the comments section below. Do you think Steve Rogers, Thor, and this new team of Avengers actually have a fighting chance to stop Victor Von Doom? Or are we heading completely off the cliff straight into Battleworld for Secret Wars? Drop your wild theories below. I read and reply to as many comments as I can. If you enjoyed this deep dive breakdown and want to stay ahead of every single leak, rumor, and trailer update for the MCU, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, share this video with your fellow Marvel fans,